Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Todd coming at you once again with another episode of Living Your Best Life. Of course, this is the show where we invite a awesome individual on to talk about what they do and how what they do is contributing to a better society, a healthier society, even a wealthier society, and probably even more sane society. So bottom line, we're talking about how to live your best life. And we're going to show you that today. We're going to share with you an awesome young lady that's going to come onto the show to talk about how to live your best life through empowering yourself, okay? And she's going to share with you some strategies that she uses with her clients. She calls partners, actually, with her clients and partners on how to do just that. We live in a crazy world, especially this time of the season or this time of the year where you have the holiday stuff and you got stresses going in and out all over the place. And so it's really time to rebalance. It's really time to bring it in and center and focus on who you are and that whole thing. So you're in for a treat, everyone. Please take heed. Okay, listen to what she's saying and reach out and get in contact with her. Vinise Capers, she's going to be coming up on this episode. But before we get to that, of course, the challenge, everybody, 30-day challenge, get in on it, all right? Lose the weight that you gained through the holidays in 2023. It's time to reset it. It's time to get it going. The challenge starts in January, so please reach out to my wife and I to get in on the challenge. All righty, so that's that, everybody. Listen, I'll see you on the other side of the commercial, and we have an awesome guest coming up, Ms. Vinise Capers. All right, you guys take care. Be good. Bye-bye.
The TLS 30-Day Jumpstart Kit is designed to start your weight loss journey the right way. We know you want fast results without compromising flavor or satiety, and that's why this Jumpstart is just the place to begin. The 2 phases of this program will get you looking and feeling great in no time. First, we provide the essential foundation with rapid delivery and maximum absorption to promote long-term health and optimal nutrition. Phase 1 is a cleanse, a fresh start that not only gently cleanses your digestive tract, but helps curb your cravings and prepares you for the second phase. Phase 2 is the fat-burning phase. You'll modify your food plan and add in exercise and our incredible TLS nutrition shakes. This is where you'll see fat and inch loss. This comprehensive kit and program booklet has what you need to reach your health and weight management goals. Jump in today.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Todd coming at you once again. Like I said, please take advantage of the next 30-day challenge that we're promoting, we're having. My wife and I, we look forward to coaching you over 30 days to your health and wellness. People are experiencing some awesome results from it. Losing weight, reconnecting, or really kind of like finding a new relationship with food and things like that. So please, like I said, get on the next 30-day challenge. But anyway, enough of that. I want to get on to this next guest. And she is such an awesome lady. As you can see, beautiful, her background, everything is kind of like popping here, you know. And I had the opportunity to meet her on Alignable. I think that's where I'm finding most of some really awesome people. And there's no plug-in for Alignable, but there's some awesome people out there. And I came across her profile and we connected and we had a conversation. And of course, I'm out here always looking to get some shine on some people that are helping people live their best lives. Henceforth, the name of the show, Living Your Best Life. And I can't say thank you enough to this awesome lady for coming on to the show. One of the coolest names I've come across in a while, as you can see. Her name is Vinise Capers, and she's not too far away from me, actually. And we have some kind of like some northern, things that we. And so I want to say thank you so much to this awesome lady, Vinise Capers, for hanging out with us on Living Your Best Life today. How you doing today?
Thank you. I am awesome. I'm privileged to be here with you, Sharon. And I should record how many times you said awesome, because I need to hear that sometimes. I am humbled by your introduction. Thank you so much. And again, thank you for having me.
Dude, you're definitely welcome, and thank you for sharing your time today. And like I was saying, we have some paths that are similar with regards to New York.
Yes.
And so where were you in New York again?
Just South Jamaica, Queens. I grew up
South
in
Jamaica, Queens. So
yes.
Jamaica, Queens. If you're in the house out there, shout out. And
yes.
I was up in the Bronx and boogie down, baby.
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I got there too. I met my husband there. Now,
Oh, there we go. There
husband,
we go.
unfortunately, yes, but yeah,
Awesome,
been
awesome.
down.
Any idea what area he was in?
Off of Tremont Avenue.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was off of Tremont Avenue, and I forget the exact location, but he grew up in the projects right off of Tremont.
Everybody out
Yes,
there, you probably know if you're from
yeah,
that area, where he's
yeah,
probably.
yes. So we had a running joke that I was from Queens and he was from
Mm.
the boogie down Bronx.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I was on Gun Hill, and
Okay.
at the top
Okay.
of the boogie down, at the top, the 5 train. So
Yeah.
all of you New York people out there that are listening, I'm pretty sure you can relate to.
Yes.
But
I
like I
traveled.
said, yeah, exactly. So right now you are in the North Carolina area,
Yes. Raleigh,
and
North Carolina.
Raleigh, North Carolina. It's a
Mhm.
transition, I'm pretty sure,
Yes, by way of Pennsylvania.
by
Um,
way of Pennsylvania.
yes, I came through Pennsylvania first. I left New York in 2001, I
Hmm.
believe it was.
Wow.
One of the easiest decisions to make, believe it or not.
Oh yeah.
I left on the heels of 9/11, the death of my
Mm-hmm.
mother, and a pending divorce.
Mm.
So to say that the transition and the transformation that was taking place was significant is, you
Maybe
know,
God is trying to tell you something.
oh, maybe God is trying to tell me something. So I snatched my 4 sons up and we were out of there. So it was a life-saving
Like you never
journey.
lived there.
Woo! We are out. We are out.
That
Yeah.
is hilarious, and this is why. I was kind of like, it was almost like the escape from New York for me also.
Mm.
I had to, I had a job of 20 some odd years that they were like, okay, here's your Timex watch,
Mm.
you know.
Right. And your Starbucks gift card. Have a good day.
Exactly. Here's your
Good
Timex
day.
watch, and,
Right.
thank you for your service. And then I was facing a divorce also,
So,
and so it was one of those situations where, like I said, you say, if you're asking God to give you a sign, then okay, this
yes.
this is it. It's
Yes.
time. Your time is done here.
Mm-hmm.
And so, how has this new life for you in the southern parts of the region or the United States been treating you?
For in an effort not to sound cliche, it has
Mm-hmm.
significantly been life-changing.
Mm,
In North Carolina is where I said my yes to my assignment.
mm.
So I said is where I identified that my pain had purpose. And again,
Wow.
it's just realistic. Again, it sounds cliche because oftentimes people will say certain things for it to be a poetic connection to it, but that legitimately is my truth. I found here that God didn't waste anything that I went through.
Mm-hmm.
If I would give him permission, he would use it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
here is where it was still enough for me because the motion in North Carolina,
Yeah.
and I was searching for that same motion in Pennsylvania. So I didn't accept as much as the stillness that Pennsylvania presented. North Carolina was a even kill between the two. So I was looking for some noise. I was looking for some motion. I was looking
Mm-hmm.
for the opportunity to be married again. And the Lord
Mm-hmm.
was like, I know you don't think I brought you out here to party.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No, you don't think I made you make that journey for your sake.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's right is where I said yes. So I'll appreciate North Carolina and what it has
Gotcha.
allowed me to birth.
Awesome. I want to go back to a word that just kind of stuck out with me, stuck with me with you, that you said. You said something about permission.
Mm-hmm.
And that caught my attention, because how do you know, when how do you know, how did you know that you had to give that permission?
Oh my gosh, because the pain that I was experiencing, we all connected to God because we came from him.
Hmm.
So there's a knower, even when you're in your muck and your mire, for lack of better words, even when I was in my turbulence, there was a knower that I was living
Mm,
beneath the peace that it was allotted me, beneath the quality relationships that I could have had, beneath the love standard that I was setting. because the same thing kept happening over and over again. And I wasn't satisfied there. So I finally said, you know what? I'm obviously in the mist somewhere. I'm obviously messing with this. Lord, go ahead and you have your way. And it was then that the kickstart happening. And it was then that the healing process happened. And I don't get me wrong, I took it back every now and again. I took it back every now and again throughout the journey. So it became concrete that I needed to give him my permission when the reputation of the same dysfunctional pain, because there's pain that's functional, and then there's dysfunctional pain. The pain that produces absolutely nothing while you're in it.
Wow.
And then there's the pain that allows you to birth. And I was constantly having the pain that left me with open wounds and all types of things, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically. So you have to come to a point where you say, I'm the common denominator of all of this.
Yeah. I'm the only one standing here. It's like
it's just me, oh Lord, standing in the need of.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
So that's how I do. Yeah. I hope I answered your question.
No, that was perfect. And you're so profound. And I want to back up to the beginning. And this is why. I want you to introduce who you are, your company, your business, because I mean, we started, and when I first had a conversation with you, Vinise, I realized that I can talk to you and listen to you all day.
Oh my gosh.
And so once you started, I'm all ears. I'm like, wow.
Bless you.
So and then I was like, wait, I don't even think we got into introducing who you are and what it is that who you are and what you do.
Oh, sure, absolutely. My name is Vinise Capers. My friends call me Deborah. I have founded Empowered for Elevation Services, and I'm in the transition process now because, as you know, as an entrepreneur, you have to be flexible. So, but right now it's Empowered for Elevation Services, and I am a certified relationship transformation coach. And I went through significant ebbs and flows regarding being rooted in that because I was attempting to follow the trends. And is one of the greatest things that I've experienced was that I had to transform the relationship I had with the Father, which ultimately transformed the relationship I had with me and transformed the relationships around me. So I'm sticking and I'm staying. And I work with people, particularly 30 and over, because what I found is that's the age when you really start to peek in the mirror a little bit. Yeah, you're less... the distractions start being identified as distractions. So I work with people 30 and older, and I teach them how to take the relationships that they're tolerating, support them in nurturing and navigate them, and so that they could become relationships that they're celebrating again with God, themselves, and those around them.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that. Like I said, we had to dial it back because I just kicked it right off.
That's okay.
Because you were just captivating. I was like, and so the whole thing is always, my thing is just let it flow, and everything. And we were just flowing. But when you're talking about your earlier relationships and well, not your earlier relationships, but well, let me bring mine put mine on the table here, because I had that dark night of the soul, where it was just the pain and I was just reliving it. And I experienced the same thing in a place where I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I thought I was doing, so I'm just like, I raised my hands up to God. I'm like, okay, it's on you. Because I'm just jacking it all up.
Yes.
And so then that's when that's why I went back to that word permission, because I think you have to go ahead and surrender. You have to let down the ego and the pride, and you just have to say, okay, I'm done. I'll let you lead the way. So I thank you for that, because like I said, you reminded me of that, my experience.
And it's the greatest opportunity that we can ever take.
Yeah. But what gets in the way?
Fear. We are creatures of habit.
Mm-hmm.
We are, as you made mention of, we are self-absorbed, self-centered, and we are made in the image of God. So we love praise and we love control, if we're honest. And when we come to those realizations
Mm-hmm.
that I appreciate praise, but wait a minute, I'm supposed to deflect that praise and project it right back to whom it really deserves. And when I do that, I'm willing to, all the amazing things someone will say about me, I duck. I
Mm-hmm.
duck.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah.
Every awesome you said, I ducked because I know to whom
Mm-hmm.
it belongs, right?
Yeah.
So being able to acknowledge those things and move us out of the way. But we live in a society, in a world that tells us, me, self this, self that, prioritize me. But if you go, and from what I hear, right, a powerful anointing on you, sir. What I hear, you're very familiar with him who created us,
Mm-hmm.
and it's contrary to how he suggests that we should move.
Mm, mm, mm.
It's
Powerful.
completely contrary.
Wow.
I
Wow.
should consider you at the table before I consider myself. And if you consider me at the table before you consider yourself, then we're both being fed.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah,
Equally.
equally.
And
And
that's important because I think, we get caught up into, who's got more, you know, and so when we can, my wife and I, we speak about this all the time, about a society that uh, understands how to serve equally and not look at it as uh, uh, people. How can I put it? She's so much more eloquent than I can be at times,
you are
and
fine.
yeah, and so that's my whole thing is that when you say looking at another and
Mhm,
serving another, and that's really where I come from now is
mhm.
how can I serve you? You
Yeah.
know, how
Yes, sir.
can I serve?
Yes, sir.
And I when we approach life in that way, the ego is, I think, removed
Yes.
to a large degree. Would
Yeah.
you would you, would you agree with that?
Oh my goodness.
You're the expert in this area.
Absolutely not. I think we're doing a great job tag teaming. I find that in order for me, I used to share oftentimes. I come from a community where everybody knew my name.
Mhm.
And that's the environment that it was. You could walk down a block and it was hey kind of thing. And I used to share with the gentlemen and brothers and that women have as large of an ego as you have. And
Mm.
you fool yourself to think that we do not.
Oh, this is true.
Right?
Yeah. I don't think of it that way. I don't think that, I think that men have the larger egos, but yeah, that's totally true.
Ooh, no, because we are tripart beings, and so the very enemy or the very enemy to our destinies is the same enemy to yours.
Hmm.
And the
Hmm.
best thing that I can do to support that enemy derail my destiny is to be prideful,
Mm.
which is ego, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Another word for ego, if you ask me, in my humble opinion. So I 100% agree. I
Hmm.
100
Gotcha,
100% agree.
gotcha. So as a relationships coach and that individual and that expertise, um, I was thinking about this earlier when you were talking about 30 years, that's the geographic
Mhm.
uh, um, group that you work with mainly. Do you find that old saying that when it comes to women being more mature at a certain age and men not, are women still maturing at a faster pace than men? Is that something we
I
would?
don't I don't
Yeah.
I don't buy into that
Okay.
generalized idea, because what that does is it doesn't allow me to introduce myself or allow Todd to introduce himself to me without barriers, because I automatically think I'm more mature than he is.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
And I'll fail to grasp and glean from what you do have because I already surmise. But so I don't follow that general. I'm sure there's some scientific basis with
Yeah.
that, yeah, right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if my 30-year-old son, he's the youngest, sometimes he blows me away with a few lines, a few sentences. He's 30. You know,
Yeah.
my 33-year-old son, he gets me realigned often.
Mhm.
And my 38-year-old son, if I have to make a decision, I can call him and he grounds me and he gets me. So just in my personal, very small experiences alone, that wouldn't be so true.
Right, right. Well, so I can let that go because,
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I think we kind of hold on to some of those things that we have, learned or heard throughout the years when we were younger.
Mhm.
And so that's something that I can definitely challenge and or even, like I said, let go. Because I think now life is so different, than when it was when we were coming up.
Yes.
I watch, young adults now. They're faced with, so many more challenges um, that we never had to deal with.
Mhm.
Um, like you were saying, in you left New York, right after the 9/11 thing. And I think that was one of the more traumatic, things that I've experienced, in my younger years. But
Mhm.
now, coming up, younger people, younger populations, they're dealing with isolation. They're dealing with,
Yes.
technology on a
Yes.
level that is taking place of human connection
Yes.
and
Relationship.
yeah,
Yes.
relationships. And so, do you work with people or counsel or coach people on how to break away from that type of this normalized,
Yes.
setting in society right now?
Absolutely. One of the things I do is I break up cycles and dysfunctional patterns. That's one of the
Hmm.
things that shows up in our sessions. I can hear the patterns based off, I'll ask certain questions based off of what they show up requesting and requiring. I often tell them you may have come believing that you needed your dress mended, but you'll often find out that you needed your bed made. Just to
Mm.
give them an analogy to recognize, because
Hmm.
we don't always know because we deal with the surface of things, and
Yeah.
based off of the imagery that we take in, we attach ourselves to that. We don't recognize oftentimes what we truly need sometimes, right? I'm taking a
Hmm.
shower and I really need to soak in a bath. And again,
Hmm.
that's just another analogy. So yes, we work on becoming individuals that are capable of serving corporately, but making sure that you have identified and you have embraced and made any adaptations for your individuality so
Hmm.
that you can be the leader that you're called to be in the area that you're called to.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Does that make
No,
sense?
that makes total sense. That
Yeah.
makes total sense. And
Yeah.
and I think within my coaching, fitness, I've become not to take on the role of or to claim the title of therapist, but it's almost like people are looking, I think, to be listened
Yes. Yes.
to, people just to, like I said, I just want somebody to that I can trust.
Yes.
And
Judgment.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So who are your clients?
My clients have been mature women, so it varies, and it typically is the 30-year-olds, right? They
Hmm.
feeling they might have gotten out that last relationship, they want to make another step and they don't know how, and they feeling flustered, as I did when I left New York. And then you have the
Hmm.
mature women that are going through a transitional phase, excuse me, and they're reflecting on certain things, and they're like, this is not what I thought it would be or how I thought it would be. So I've found myself where and parents that are struggling with that parental relationship between themselves and their adult children.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it's three categories. You have to put it into a quick niche. Let me just, can I be transparent? I despise that whole elevator speech needing to. I understand why, but if you recognize there are three different scenarios there, right? I've had
Hmm.
parents and they struggle and they want to have a better relationship with their child. They've done all they can. They don't understand where the rejection is coming from. And I support them in seeing that. And then I have the child who wants to help mom understand or dad understand. They don't get it. And I help them see their participation in their own pain,
Hmm.
which
How
causes,
much? How much? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, please.
How much of a lot of our experience are because you're speaking about the adult children, you
Mhm.
know, but then inside of us is the child that hasn't quite moved into adult, you know, and how much of that are you having to go and try to locate and heal?
Every session. There's
Yeah.
not one client, there's not one partner, I call them partners.
Hmm.
There's not one, because we partner along this journey,
Right.
right? There's
Right.
not one partner that I've met that did not have to go back and have a conversation with that little girl. And I've dealt with a couple of men too, a few men.
Hmm.
I've had a few
Hmm.
few
Hmm.
brothers too. I'm not going to leave you brothers out. I love you.
Thank you.
I'm not going to leave y'all out. But I've had every single one of them have had to go back and have had to reclaim their true identity before the dysfunctional patterns start to be imparted, before they start to adopt and
Yeah.
make adaptations to their authenticity,
Yeah.
right? Because I
That's a
was,
tough.
yeah.
You said because you were what?
I was authentically very sensitive, very loving, very compassionate as a little girl. I'm not saying this myself. My uncles, my aunts, they all say I was very easy to get along with.
Hmm.
Then I made the adaptations, the necessary adaptations, right? 10
Hmm.
brothers and sisters. I made the adaptations to become what was approved by her,
Hmm.
which is where my war started to happen because I wanted to be accepted and I was denying my true self. So I support people getting back to their authentic self and making sure that they cultivate environments where their authentic self is safe and engage relationships where their authentic self can be safe. Because one of the reasons why we've gone through so many dysfunctional relationships, because we presented a representative that really wasn't authentically us at some form of fashion in some way.
Hmm.
And the moment we say, you know what, these are my standards, I love the Lord, and I'm not compromising that for a relationship. And now that relationship will be the relationship that I engage and embrace, won't have to make any unnecessary adaptations for to my authentic self. Does that make sense?
Hmm. No.
Listen, I can talk. So
Oh,
I
please do
can
it,
talk.
because this is like, you've got me thinking,
Mm.
because it's scary to be authentic.
And vulnerable.
Yeah.
Those are the 5 key principles of my practice.
Yeah. And that was the one thing, and I don't know if it's, and I don't want to make this a gender thing, making it male or female. I'll just make it an individual thing.
Please.
Um, yeah, because that was my issue, vulnerability, and I think my vulnerability or lack thereof, um, probably is what created a negative environment in my first marriage.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't willing, and I don't. It was a maturity level thing. I wasn't willing to be vulnerable. Because I didn't want to. I didn't want to show who I really was, and
Why?
because that if I had shown who I really was, um, I think uh, she would have looked at me less,
Based off
because
of
I didn't.
experience.
Yeah, based on how I saw me in the dark, when
Yes.
all the lights are when all the lights are off.
Come on.
Yeah, when all the lights are off, it's who I saw, and I didn't like that. And
Come
so,
on.
but when the lights are on, Todd shows up with the glam.
Ta-da! Ta-da!
you
Like
know.
ta-da! Here I am. Here I am.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, I
yeah.
get it. I get it.
And and so that was something that I had to learn going into my new marriage. And
Yeah.
I'm still struggling with it. I'll be honest with you.
And if
Yeah.
I might offer you this, when I was laying in my bed when I empowered for elevation, I was shown by the God we serve. And
Hmm.
he told me there were key principles. Without them, it is impossible to get to the place to be empowered for elevation, which means to get to a place where you're going to a different level from where you are. You need to be teachable. There are strategies, there are
Hmm.
awarenesses, there are wisdom, and that empowers to get to
Yeah.
that next level, right? So
Yeah.
there's a reason. He said authenticity,
Hmm.
transparency, vulnerability, accountability,
Mm.
then availability. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm hearing you say, I wasn't available for the vulnerability, but you weren't available for the vulnerability so you can offer yourself some grace. Because
Mm-hmm.
there was a time when we were just freely vulnerable, but your experience during that time of vulnerability told you to hide your
Oh
vulnerability.
yeah. 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 Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So reminding yourself that you are no longer in the presence of that thing that transpired when you once were vulnerable,
Mm-hmm.
reminding yourself that you're safe where you're going to be, and then let your vulnerability, because vulnerability is for you.
Yeah.
It's not for the other person.
Never saw it that way.
Yeah.
Never saw it that way.
Yeah.
And but it makes perfect sense though. I terribly did not want to be seen.
Hmm.
I was hiding from everyone.
That's good.
And yeah, I was hiding from everyone. And and then, I think like I don't think my own mom and dad, they didn't know I was going through a divorce for a year. I had been divorced for a year.
Wow. Wow.
They
Wow.
didn't-
That speaks
no
volumes.
one,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, no one knew I was divorced for a whole year.
Wow.
And then I was like, it had just come down to it where I was just like, I'm broken. And
Mm.
like you were saying, that was another moment in time in my life where that dark night of the soul,
Hmm.
that was
Hmm.
just another, moment in time where
Hmm.
I had to like, God, I'm at the end of the tracks here,
Yeah, 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 yeah. Because you make it mention, we will have several encounters like that
Yeah,
for several reasons,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And to backtrack to what you were saying about boys maturing more than girls, or men maturing more than women, if you go back to where we were when we came up, the sayings was, "Oh, boys will be boys," but the young
Mhm.
ladies were being groomed to be mothers and wives, and yeah. So
Yeah, yeah.
the maturity level had a lot to do with what we were doing. We were creating environments. Some of my
Hmm.
biggest arguments were with gentlemen that I thought were friends or were wise enough to understand. And they would ask my 14-year-old son how many girlfriends he had, or,
Hmm.
if they would ask him things and he needs to be a boy. And I said, well, if he's a boy, if he needs to be a boy, he needs to be a boy with a girl. So how about introducing him to your daughter? Then
Mm.
the conversation changed,
Hmm. Hmm.
because you're teaching him that how many notches he has in his belt, but he has to have those notches with somebody's daughter who
Yeah,
you're telling she's a princess. And then you expect the boy who has supposed to have 30 notches in his belt by the time he's 16
yeah,
to connect with the girl that's taught she's supposed to be treated like the princess debonair. And you
yeah.
expect that to work with 2.2 children and a picket fence.
Mixed messages.
I'm just confused. Like,
Yeah,
how is the player supposed to take care of the princess?
right. Well, but that you're right. My wife and I, we have these conversations often. These deep conversations, and we talk about that. How as a young kid myself, it was always about how many girlfriends did you have, and that was a bragging point
Yes,
for
sir.
young boys. That was a bragging point. It's like, well, I've got this, and so you never really are taught about the importance of building relationships. And so therefore it was always how many
Hmm.
versus the word nurturing of one.
Yes.
And if it was a one type of thing, then and I think we grow up with those insecurities as men,
Yeah.
and that can lead to all different types of uh, wrong choices, or potentially wrong choices in life. And
Absolutely.
so yeah, and so it's something that like I said, it was many dark nights of my soul where I had to kind of like lift my hands up and just say, okay, I can't do this. And so I'm still learning. I'm still learning and I'm still growing, and I acknowledge that. And so this is therapeutic for me, I will say.
As myself, I say all the time to my partners, I said, we're coaching each other here because you're illuminating so many things for me here. So I appreciate it so very much. I
Yeah.
take this time not for granted. I don't take it for granted at all.
Well, I take, I look at this because this is not just me. I'm pretty sure that, there's somebody out there that's dealing with something like this. It's somebody out there that's dealing with some things that you've gone through
Yes.
and everything like that. And so, but like I said, we thank you for you,
Yes, sir. Oh,
you
thank you.
know,
To God be the
and
glory.
and
To God be the
and
glory.
so your website, things like that. Where can we, what's in the future for you and your business, and your company, and your all those things?
Oh my goodness. My desire is to become more visible so that I would really love to begin a process where I am interviewing other coaches that have like-minded
Hmm.
core principles so
Hmm.
that we can expand to going into schools
Yeah,
and
yeah.
things of that nature. That is my ultimate goal, to stand before audiences of those people who find themselves struggling, who's suffering in silence, who's tired of the superficial in
Hmm.
relationships, right? And want to
Hmm.
go deeper. That's my ultimate goal. I'm also extending to where I'm doing self-regulated tools. I'm creating self-regulated
Oh yeah.
tools, yeah, so that people can order them offline. And if they're not ready to have that one-on-one confrontation yet, but they can begin that inquiry, that self-inquiry, to ask themselves some questions. Nothing deep and earth-shattering, just authentic.
Yeah, yeah. That word, authentic.
Just authentic. Listen, is it yes or is it no? And answer it as if no one is listening.
Yeah. And no one's watching, because how many times well, I'll speak for myself. I'll it's like when I come across a question, like I take a test, like, that you're
Mhm.
talking about, and you're afraid to even admit it to yourself.
Yes, absolutely. It's so important. It's so important. So those are some of the things that I'm working on. I have webinars that I do that I just really, I believe that God sends me his people. I
Hmm.
truly believe I want to be more expansive and explosive, but I'm also giving Yahweh permission to move in his pace,
Gotcha, gotcha.
to move at his pace, because success is not about quantity, but it's about quality. So
Quality.
I'm embracing the quality right now.
Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah, I'm
Awesome,
yeah, I'm
awesome.
trusting that it's going to be good.
And so where can we find you online out there in the world?
www.vinisecapers.com. That's my website. It has some pertinent information, opportunities to connect with me there. I'm also Vinise Capers on Instagram, and I'm also Vinise Capers on Facebook.
Right. Awesome.
So,
Awesome.
yeah,
Well, I cannot thank you enough,
thank
for
you.
sharing a little bit of your day after Thanksgiving. Now, so your Thanksgiving was okay? Was it nice?
Yeah, I honestly, truthfully, I don't celebrate it to that capacity. So I don't go
Hmm.
out and do all the cooking. If there's an opportunity for myself and sons to get together, we will. And then of course, we will cook and eat, but
Gotcha.
I don't make a fuss and I don't make a fuss
Gotcha.
about it.
Gotcha. So it's a,
Yeah.
it's a relaxing day for you,
Just a
for the most
relaxing day. I'm cleaning out closets.
part.
Cleaning out closets, creating content, nothing exciting. No
Gotcha.
cranberry sauce on
Gotcha.
my table.
Well, I tell you, I was, as when we came on before, right on before everyone. She has the awesome background, and the words inspire. So it's the
Thank
perfect
you.
setting, and you're
Thank
you're
you.
you're awesome in your walk, and I thank God for you.
Thank
And
you.
so I look forward to connecting with you more,
Yes.
especially since we're pretty much down the street from one another for the most part, just to see, how we can, help make this world a better place, and
Oh,
and help people find a safe space,
yes, yes.
and to be able to grow.
I look forward to that. And I appreciate and I'm privileged to have again been a part of this. And thank you for all that you're doing and
I
considering
appreciate
it
it.
not robbery to have this conversation with me. I really appreciate it.
Awesome, 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 awesome. Well, thank you. I look forward to connecting with you again, Vanessa.
Yes,
And
sir.
I did pronounce your name correctly.
You
And
did.
yes.
You did. Blessings to you and your beautiful wife and your family.
You too, you too.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you so much for hanging
Yes,
out with us.
of
So,
course.
everyone, So everyone, thank you so much again for hanging out with us. So listen, get in contact with this lady here. She is doing some awesome things within her business. She's a change maker. Okay. And I had a therapy session almost today, so I appreciate her and just the words of encouragement and empowerment that she gave me today. Gives me something to reflect on today and moving beyond. It is the Thanksgiving weekend, and we are coming upon the holidays. And my whole thing is, don't let the stress get to you. Okay, enjoy the day, enjoy the time with your family. Let it be about that, and not about the things. Okay, that's the main thing. So let it be about the family, let it be about the time, the enjoyment, and not about the things that you accumulate over the next few weeks. So like I said, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Okay, I appreciate and love you all. You guys have an awesome weekend, and we'll see you on the next episode of Living Your Best Life. Y'all take care. This is Todd G signing out.